This one, I held it back for a long time, and I finally gave it away about a year ago, right before the pandemic, actually, when the pandemic was happening, because I knew all you guys were home. The Papa Zucchini method, which is a famous soup from Frank Restaurant, has been there for 24 years. It's like one of our signature items. People come in and drink it. We serve it either cold, warm, or hot. It is so simple and so delicious, you're not going to believe it. So easy to make. All you need is a blender, okay? And zucchini and onions and water. It's also vegan, super healthy, loaded with extra virgin olive oil. Literally feed it to your kids. Spoon it into their mouths. They're going to love it. We start off usually with just white onions, but it's the spring, and I have some of these spring onions, so I'm going to use a combination of these spring onions and regular yellow onions, okay? And my zucchini is over here soaking in water. Now, why soak it in water? Because sometimes zucchini grows in the dirt, and it gets a little bit of dirt into the skin. And you need to just rub it with your hands or use a vegetable brush or a cloth, and just make sure you get any sand that might be inside the skin out. So we're just going to clean these onions up. I'm just going to take this little piece off, and I'm not throwing this away. I'm saving that for my brodo, and I'm going to be making some chicken brodo very soon. So I'm going to save every little scrap of onion. I'm not throwing any of it away. Boom, just going to cut it like that. I put all 3 of these in here, I think. Why not? And I'm going to leave them relatively big. Like that. And I'm going to char them. That's what I'm doing right now, is while I'm doing this, on the stove, I have this pot. And it's on a medium flame. Actually, it's on a low flame. I started out on a low flame, and now I'm going to crank it up a little bit because I need it very hot. I want the onions to get a little bit of a char. A little bit of a char on the onions is nice. Just like, almost like blistering them is what I'm really, really looking to do. So you're going to need very hot oil. Once again, you're going to need a hot pan. So this is a very fast burner. I have it on medium heat. Yours would probably be high heat. Also, I have water on already boiling in the back. You can't lose any time with this zucchini soup. You have to also ice the final product down right away as soon as it comes out of the blender. You got to put it over 2 bowls over each other with an ice bath underneath to chill it down as quickly as possible to save the green and save the nutrients. Okay, very important. 2 bowls together, one with ice and water underneath, another bowl on top, and you're going to literally just keep stirring it until it's cold right out of the blender. So again, we're rough cutting the onions. I'm going to make them pretty big, and I'm going to split them up. I'll show you. I'm not going to let them, I'm going to open up all the leaves of the onions. But you can see I'm going to use my hands to make sure that every single leaf is separate. So when they cook, every leaf comes in contact with the oil and can get blistered. Because you see how they stick together. You want to make sure that you sit here and carefully separate every single piece that you can separate. It's worth it, trust me. It comes out much better. More of the onion gets blistered, gets a little bit of blistering. It's a nice light flavor behind the zucchini and the olive oil. There's only 3 ingredients here: onions, zucchini, olive oil, and extra virgin olive oil. Onions, zucchini, and olive oil, and water. That's the other ingredient, water. Imagine a melody while you do it. Imagine a melody while you separate your leaves of onion. Every single piece must be separated. Let's do these too. These leeks too. I mean, these spring onions too. So basically, as soon as I'm done doing this, I'm ready to roll. I'm not losing any time. I'm utilizing all my time in the kitchen always. thinking ahead, getting my pots ready, getting my pans hot before I need them. Learning what flame to put them on for how long they have to sit to get to the right temperature. Every pot's different, and every different size burner is different. And this is what happens when you learn that intricacy. You really come out with flow. That's when you can really flow in the kitchen and really enjoy yourself, because there's this rhythm to everything you're doing. You can feel the rhythm. Put them in here, the little guy. Use the big one for the Zukes. Now the zucchini, like I said, we cleaned them up. We made sure that there wasn't any sand in them, right? And we want to leave them in big pieces. Okay, I like to do them like this. Bada bing, bada boom. Nice big humps. Just like that. Beautiful. Okay. So pan is hot, but not hot enough. So now I'm going to crank it just for a couple of seconds, get it, immediately bring it up to a super high temperature. I had it hot. I evaluated it, make an adjustment. This is how you work, okay? Now I know next time the level I had it at was a little too low to get it ready and at the right temperature. So next time I use this pot, I'm going to consider that. So now before you fire anything, make sure you have your ice water set up, okay? Where your bowl is literally floating in water. So all the surface area of the bottom of the bowl, when you put the liquid in here, when you put the soup in here, is going to be in ice cold water. So it's going to cool down super quickly. You see how I set that up? This bowl is plenty small to fit in. That's important. You see? And plenty of ice. It's going to be hot coming out of that blender. Okay? So like I said, first thing we do is we're getting the pot ready. And it's got to be really hot because I'm going to put quite a bit of olive oil in here. And it's got to be hot enough to blister these onions right away. You don't want to boil them. This whole operation is like everything else I teach, is a cadence. Getting the pan up to the right temperature, using the oil and the onions to lower that temperature to perfect blistering temperature, getting the zucchini in here immediately, sauteing it in the olive oil, letting that skin and the zucchini flavor the olive oil also, the onions and the zucchini are flavoring that oil, creating a vehicle for the fat to permeate through the soup and give it a really good flavor, and that's why it works. It's technique, okay? Water ready to go. I have 2 things of water here ready to go, so I don't have to wait for the water to boil. It goes right in super hot, already boiling, comes up to a boil. It cuts down the cooking time, makes a beautiful cadence, okay? We're really there now. I can sense it. And I need quite a bit of oil at the same time, so I'm popping that stupid little top off this thing. And boom. And you can hear them, and they're blistering. And that's it. The zucchini goes in. Using the zucchini now. Cooling the zucchini itself is cooling the pan down also. And you're sauteing it in here, giving it nice color. You're going to see the zucchini gets bright green. And you can see there's just a little bit of blistering on those onions. And that's it. Boom. The water goes in. And just barely enough to cover. That's it. You can always add more water. You can't take the water out. Just enough to cover and enough to blend and make a puree soup. How much water you put is critical. You put too much, it's too thin, it doesn't have any flavor. You're using the body and the flesh of the zucchini to create the thickness. So it's literally a puree zucchini onion soup. Pure, clean, cooked very quickly. Very little time is wasted here. Okay? And you see the water's already up to. And you just want to partially cook the zucchini.
Like a little softer if you can sometimes.
You just want to partially cook the zucchini. Okay? Just partially cook them. Okay? The blender will do the rest. The water is so hot that when it goes into the blender, the heat from the water will cook the rest of the zucchini as it purees right into the liquid. And that's the trick also. Freshness, the pulpiness, great for kids. Get your kids to drink this. You can play around with different types of onions if you like. So don't worry about undercooking them. Worry about overcooking them. You just want to soften them up just a little bit here and then right into the blender. And that's basically it. Okay? Like I said, don't worry. The zucchini's mostly raw. It's not a problem. This blender is going to puree the living crap out of it. I have more water right here if I need it, just in case. But when I put them in, you're going to see how much water is in the zucchini. The zucchini is like 90% water. So what we do is we use one of these to push it down while it's pureeing. We take the top out, put this on. You need a blender in your house. You got to have a blender. I don't want to hear it. Get a blender. You see, you can push it, and we can start out at a medium speed here, and then go at a high speed, and then go at a super high speed. And we're going to add some extra virgin while that's going on. And we can add a little more water too if we need to. Off right away, pop off the top, right in the ice bath. Boom. No time wasted. Right in the ice bath. Get it cold. Move quickly. Finish the rest of it. All of this can go in here now. Once again, I want to control the liquid. I'm controlling how much liquid I'm putting in here. I'm going to put the solids in first with just a little bit of the liquid because I don't want too much liquid. I want it to be a thick soup. So I'm controlling. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to put it all. I'm going to get all the onions out using a slotted spoon or a female spoon. And just use that much water at first. And see, and wait and see. Same thing now. I'm going to cover it up. Blend it. Nice and smooth. Right in the ice. Don't waste any of it. Don't waste it. Don't waste. Don't waste. Don't pour this down the drain either. It's not good for your plumbing. Now we're going to sit here and keep it moving in the ice water until it's cold. Don't just let it sit. You got to keep it moving. You got to let the steam release. You got to let the cold, let all of the soup feel the cold. It's good to use a rubber for this because you can literally just rubber it. It will cool down very quickly over ice. Make sure there's plenty of ice on the bottom too. If you see there's no more ice left, put some more ice. This is the most important part. It keeps all the nutrients in. Okay? It keeps it green. It keeps it vibrant. You're going to love eating this soup. You're going to love looking at it. And the texture is absolutely perfect. Check how we're going down here. It's nice and cold? Yeah, nice and cold. Oh my God, it smells amazing. It smells like a nectar. A zucchini and olive oil nectar. With just a little backbone of blistered onion. The spring onion too is a nice addition here. It would be really good to make this in season with only spring onions. But this is how we make it at Frank Restaurant with regular white Spanish onions. We don't use sweet onions. We want that normal onion flavor, not the extra sweet onion. There's plenty of sweetness in the zucchini. You want that contrast of a little bit more of the acidic onion. Let's check the temp. Still quite hot. Absolutely delicious. Gonna need to add some more ice to this. You see? More ice, why not? And now it will cool down much faster. This is the key to it, guys. Don't be lazy. Okay, don't just throw it into the fridge. Once you do this, once you chill it down, you can leave it in the fridge all day and just keep pulling it out and drinking it. Just put a little olive oil, a little black salt on top, and just keep eating it. It's so good for you. It's so delicious. And the same concept can be applied to almost any vegetable. You can do this with butternut squash. You can do it with carrots. You can do it with celery. You can do it with kale. You can do it with just about any vegetable just by modifying the technique just a little bit. You can ask me in the comments if you're having any problem with any particular vegetable and I'll help you. Or just hit me up on Instagram in my DMs also. I answer them constantly. Oh my God, it's so good. It doesn't even have any salt yet. I can drink this as it is. Now, because I love to have it at room temperature, I'm going to pull some out right now and put it into a bowl and then chill the rest. Keep going until it's cold to the touch. See, that's nappe on a ladle. That's what you're looking for with a soup. You see how it coats the back of the label naturally, no thickeners? As it gets colder, it will get even thicker. And like I said, we usually serve it cold. And you say, well, why don't you serve it warm in the restaurant? Well, we do, but people think it's weird. Most people want to have it either hot or they want to have it cold. They can only fathom a soup being either hot or cold. This soup, for me, is best room temperature. Remember, there's no salt in here whatsoever, okay? There's no salt at all. We're going to go coarse, right on top. So while you're drinking it, while you're tasting it, you're going to taste both the salt and you're going to taste the salt, the zucchini soup with the salt, and zucchini soup without salt. Okay, why take that part of the experience away by dissolving fine salt in there? It doesn't make any sense. Let the salt be coarse. Let the salt be on top. Okay, now we're going to do ribbons of the best olive oil I have, something extremely fruity, which is this Coratina unfiltered. And be generous. Ribbon it up. And now every spoonful is going to have this complexity of flavors. Olive oil, salt, no salt, zucchini, blistered onion in the background. God. I'm telling you. If this soup doesn't blow your mind, nothing I do will. I really just want to pick it up and drink it. Like explosions of subtlety, non-stop. Yeah, love it. So now, put it in the fridge, eat it all day. If you don't eat it in that first day, I suggest that you do. That's the whole idea. You know, keep giving it to people, just keep having some. Eat it the following day for sure. After day 2, in the restaurant, we make it fresh daily. Whatever we don't finish, we dump. So we make it fresh every single day. Okay? That's what I suggest.